Good evening, everyone. We were waiting a few minutes there because so many of you were coming in to say congratulations to Glenn and to be here for his moment in the Hall of Fame. So I'd like to welcome you to the first of 4 Volleyball BC Hall of Fame virtual induction ceremonies for the 2022 class of inductees. My name is Emma Gibbons and I'm the CEO of Volleyball BC. And it is my pleasure to be the MC for tonight's ceremony. The 2022 Volleyball BC Hall of Fame virtual induction ceremonies are presented by GLC Solutions, a longtime partner of Volleyball BC, whose executive leadership team has a strong, deep-rooted connection to the sport of volleyball. GLC Solutions is a company who helps their clients uncover opportunities to utilize and leverage technology for sustainable long-term growth and business profitability. They have been a great partner in this event in the past, and we thank them for their continued contribution. So a little housekeeping before we get started tonight. As you have already been doing, I encourage you to send all of your messages and well wishes to Glenn using the chat function. We will make sure that he receives copies of those after this ceremony is concluded. So this year marks the 9th anniversary of the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame celebrations. And if someone had told us back in 2019 that we would spend the next 2 years conducting these awards virtually, I'm not sure that any of us would have believed them. Although we wish we were able to celebrate in person, this new virtual way of gathering has become the norm and has brought silver linings with it. Over the last year's virtual ceremonies, we had nearly 200 attendees from around the country and the world, and we expect no less this year. This virtual format allows people from anywhere to come together to celebrate our amazing inductees, and we are thankful for that opportunity. If you weren't present at last year's inductions, let me introduce how this works. Over the next 4 weeks, we will be celebrating and learning about each recipient's contribution to volleyball one by one. Each week, the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame will be posting a digital program feature and a podcast interview with that week's inductee. Visit www.volleyballbc.org/about/HOV to read the inductee bios and to listen to the podcasts and to watch the speeches. In particular, the podcasts are a unique and easy way to hear the fascinating stories of our recipients in their own voices. Every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m, we will conduct these virtual ceremonies where each inductee will be celebrated and participate in their formal induction. We have a great program of events over the next 4 weeks, and I'm excited to launch the series with tonight's presentation. I would like to start by introducing the Volleyball BC President, Doremi Ayling, to open and welcome you to tonight's ceremony.
Thank you so much, Emma. On behalf of the Volleyball BC Board of Directors, thank you for joining us this evening for the 2022 Hall of Fame induction ceremony for Glenn Wheatley in the officials category. I would like to begin by acknowledging that I am joining you this evening from the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples and extend our appreciation for the opportunity to live and learn on their territories, which include the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Our Volleyball BC Hall of Fame Committee is proud to continue our tradition of recognizing outstanding athletes, coaches, officials, builders, and teams who have contributed to the development of volleyball in BC. We are thrilled that we are able to share this year's inductees stories with you and build on our history of Volleyball BC. Thanks to all of those who prepared the nomination packages and to the committee who completed our reviews working remotely over the past few months. We congratulate this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Your accomplishments and passion for the sport of volleyball is exceptional, and we look forward to celebrating with you and your family members via this year's virtual event. You are inspiring future generations of leaders in the development of our sport, and the future of volleyball in BC and in Canada is bright thanks to your contributions. We hope to be able to celebrate together in person next year. I will now turn it back over to you, Emma.
Thanks, Doremi. Behind this amazing annual event is an awards committee formed of individuals who are passionate about recognizing the contributions and legacies of people who make up our volleyball community. I would like to now introduce Jenny Black to say a few words on behalf of the committee.
Hello, my name is Jenny Black. I would like to welcome you to tonight's virtual Volleyball BC Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Tonight is the first of 4 weeks where we will honor the 2022 Hall of Fame induction class. The Volleyball BC Hall of Fame was created to honor volleyball athletes, teams, coaches, officials, and builders who have had a significant impact in developing the sport within British Columbia. I am one of the members of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. We are a subgroup of the Volleyball BC Board of Directors who are responsible for guiding the Hall of Fame selection process, as well as actively seeking opportunities to nominate dedicated members of our community. Our goal is to honor and highlight past accomplishments to inspire the next generation of volleyball excellence in British Columbia. Tonight, we are pleased to honor Glenn Wheatley in the officials category. I met Glenn more than 15 years ago. At the time, I was the Volleyball BC staff member, and he was an active allocator and assigner. I witnessed firsthand Glenn's passion for developing and mentoring referees of all badge levels. Please enjoy tonight's program honoring Glenn.
I'd like to thank Jenny for her contribution. So now on to the main presentation. We're here tonight to induct Glenn Wheatley, our first individual into the 2022 Hall of Fame. And we will be inducting Glenn into the official category. First, let's look at the criteria. To be inducted as an official, you have to meet the following items. You have to be a British Columbian official who's made a significant contribution to the sport over an extended period of time in leagues or systems that are recognized by Volleyball BC. You have to have accomplishments that may be considered that include, but are not limited to, officiating awards and recognition. You must have a history of involvement in the sport and performance as an official or administrator of officials. You have to have served as a mentor, a supervisor, and/or a developer of officiating programs in British Columbia. You must have assignment to major championships and events and a certain level of certification attained. And above all, you must have commitment to the sport of volleyball, which is demonstrated by years of service and activity. I'm very excited to introduce Glenn Wheatley as our first 2022 inductee. This is a particularly special occasion for me because Glenn is currently working as our referee development manager here at Volleyball BC. He is the consummate team player, believes passionately in our sport, and works tirelessly to make volleyball better. I can't think of a better representative of Volleyball BC's values of inclusion, caring, collaboration, and integrity. When I was appointed CEO of Volleyball BC in 2019, Glenn was the very first staff member to reach out to me and to welcome me to the team even before I had actually started. That small gesture sums up Glenn all over. He is caring, welcoming, and thoughtful. He also rose to the occasion during COVID-19. Like for many organizations, COVID created a very challenging environment for Volleyball BC. We were forced to be creative, to take on new roles, and be extremely flexible. When we could not play volleyball because of the restrictions, we took the opportunity to develop a new partnership with pickleball, which is now played during the day and almost every day at the Harry Jerome Sports Center. I asked Glenn to lead that relationship, and Glenn accepted without hesitation. His willingness to chip in, take on new responsibilities was indispensable. Glenn's smiling face, his cheerful demeanor, and his people skills have made him a popular figure among our volleyball participants. He understood the bigger picture of why we were building the partnership and has been instrumental to delivering and developing a strong relationship that we're looking to take forward. So much so that we are fully expecting Glenn to be inducted into the Pickleball Hall of Fame, probably in a few years' time. Glenn is caring, welcoming, and thoughtful. He would do anything for his colleagues, and in turn, we would do anything for him. I could talk at length about Glenn and his qualities, but I know others would like to as well. So without further ado, I am honored to introduce one extraordinary individual in the referee category into the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. Tonight, we recognize and honor the contributions of Glenn Wheatley.
Stereo, it beats for you, so listen close. Hear my thoughts in every note. Oh, oh.
Glenn is the third chapter of a lifelong friendship among three people. Glenn, Jeff Gogol, and I met in the 1970s, brought together by an interest in the sport of volleyball and a goal to become better referees. We would end up meeting every few weeks at some tournament around the Lower Mainland. We would learn elements of the game, meet new people, and hone our skills. We would encourage each other to become better referees each time and share stories of the unusual situations we find ourselves in.
I actually spent more time with them in the 90s and the 2000s. And I had to go out to evaluate them at Trinity University. And for the first time, I hadn't seen them for a long time. And we knew each other, but we both couldn't say how we met. So that was the first time I saw him to evaluate him, because that's when he really wanted to get into more officiating from coaching.
Tournaments are long for officials. A lot of times it's just what I remember the most is actually getting to spend time in between matches when we have breaks, and it was just so much easier to take your mind off of officiating to kind of just relax. And remember at the old Osborne gym spending time in our breaks, and also working with him. He was just easy to work with, easy to communicate with.
Glenn was always the social person. His people skills are incredible. So whether we were refereeing, lounging in the referee's room, or going out for meals, Glenn would be the one that would kind of bring everybody together and have everyone involved. He was definitely like the cruise director on a cruise ship. His outgoing personality is incredible. His ability to bring people together and get them to interact is incredible.
Well, one of the things that really stood out was his friendly manner. The thing I really admired about him the most was whenever he worked with me or worked with people, he always made people more important than himself. So you always were relaxed with him. So that was, to me, one of his greatest assets.
It was probably about 5 years down the road, as we were doing upgrades, that we finally started to chat a little more. He would definitely be the one that would raise his head above everyone else and seemed to have a composure to the game that I admired.
Glenn spent time with officials on and off the court to help them improve their refereeing skills, and also just their people skills. They're just to be good people, good to help with the program, help in the community. So that's always been an amazing part of Glenn's personality.
His passion for volleyball for so many years is amazing to me. And I'm so glad that he is still involved with Volleyball BC, because I think the volleyball community is so lucky to have such a person that is there genuinely trying to help people to get ahead in their volleyball careers.
I would like to congratulate Glenn Wheatley on his nomination and induction into the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. It is well deserved, and welcome to the club.
Hi, Glenn. Here I am in sunny California, and I always feel that you have been the sunshine to our volleyball officiating program in BC. Congratulations, Glenn, on your induction into the 2022 Volleyball Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of you, and thanks for all your contributions to volleyball in BC.
Glenn, I feel guilty for taking a few minutes of the spotlight here, but I do want to wish you a congratulations on a lifelong job well done, well deserved. Welcome to the 2022 Volleyball BC Hall of Fame.
First of all, I want to thank Emma for the kind introduction. Luckily, it was a few minutes ago, so I've stopped crying. I also want to thank Kevin and Matt for all your work behind the scenes to make the next 4 weeks for all of the inductees a truly special time. I know how much effort you guys put in to it, and it's very much appreciated by all of us. I also want to thank those that took the time out to join us here today to help me celebrate. The messages that I've been getting for the last 3 weeks have been truly heartfelt, and I've appreciated every one of them. And if I haven't been able to reach out to you individually, it's just because there was so many, and I honestly have appreciated every one of them. I would like to first congratulate all the other inductees into the 2022 Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. My now good friend, Rod Belinsky, Jamie Broder, Tom Graham, Audrey Vandervelden, and the great Moo Park. I am truly honored to be going into the Hall of Fame with such a distinguished group of people. And I've had an opportunity to either work with you or watch all of you in this fine sport that we love. I am truly looking forward to hearing your stories every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks so I can learn more about your journeys. You are lucky that you can follow me as I set the bar very low for public speaking and speech writing. You can thank me at the next live ceremony and buy me a drink or 3. Luckily for you, there won't be much of a bar set, so you will sound and look very good in the coming weeks. Especially Rod. Rod, you can buy me a few drinks for all the cards that I've given you over the years or haven't given you because I've been too busy laughing. But we have grown to like each other now that we're both referees. So congratulations, buddy, on also getting in. I want to take this opportunity to thank the nominating committee and all the people that had a hand in putting together my nomination package. A special thanks to Howard Hum, who spearheaded the campaign and spent many hours writing letters and garnering support. Also thanks to Jeff Gogol, Dale Savage, and Gary Yip for their contributions to the nomination package and the video. I want to send a special thank you to my family who are all gathered here in my living room to help me celebrate this special day. This is where it's probably going to get a little teary-eyed, but I'll try to muster through it. I've practiced this a few times today, so hopefully I don't cry too much. My mom and dad, Bruce and Shirley, who shared their love of sport with me from an early age. They spent countless hours in fields watching me pick grass as a young soccer goalie, in gymnasiums, watching me play basketball, volleyball, and badminton in high school, and arenas, watching me play goalie in lacrosse and as an adult hockey. My dad was always sitting behind the net so he wouldn't have to listen to others complain about how bad the goalie was. And my mom was often the only parent in the high school gym, standing in the balcony, keeping the garbage can company, watching us play, whether we were on the floor or not. They also raised me to be the character person I am, one that truly loves to give back, and for that, I'm truly thankful. My twin brother, Brian, and his wife, Josie, are also here. For those that weren't fortunate enough to have a twin, it was the best life ever. Having someone to beat in sports, beat up on daily basis and dominate in all facets of life was the best. He handled it so well though, and we remain best friends almost 60 years later. I let him win golf once in a while now, just to make up for all those years. I especially want to thank my wife of 23 years, Lorene, and my daughters, Taylor and Sydney. Without their support for my volleyball passion and the tolerance of using up vacation days for volleyball road trips, I could not have done all the things that I have done or met those so many wonderful people. Lorene was a single parent for many of the early years as I went through the level 4 program. And with a baby and a toddler around the house, I know it wasn't easy. She knew how important volleyball was to me and was my biggest support system, even through the trying times. Coaching both my kids and watching them become certified referees was definitely a highlight of my volleyball career. Watching them grow up into respectful, strong, and passionate young ladies has been the highlight of my life. Thank you for being there for each other all those times I couldn't be, and for supporting me through the wonderful journey. I feel a little strange going through this Hall of Fame preparation, as when I truly look back on my life in volleyball and think about the big matches or the great accomplishments, I ask myself, do I really deserve this? For volleyball, it was never about big matches. To me, it was passion that I wanted to share with others. I would much rather be behind the score table taking notes in a 2-hour debrief over a beverage or 3, or talking to coaches about why it's important that they be patient with the young referees. To me, that was more important than the gold medal matches. As a coach, it was about trying hard, competing the right way, and being respectful to your opponents, teammates, and the referees that were more important than winning. Of course, winning was nice, but learning how to be good humans and acting with class was more important. Learning to love what you do and want to come back tomorrow was a lesson I was always trying to teach. As a referee and as a coach, that is what I think has made me successful and what I am the most proud of. My passion for volleyball began in 1976 at Windermere Secondary School in East Vancouver. I had no volleyball experience in elementary school, so grade 8 volleyball was my launching point. I loved team sports and had some friends that were trying out, so I went along. I immediately loved the team environment and that all the positions had a different role. My first coach, Robbie J, made the experience enjoyable. Boys volleyball wasn't big back in the day, and the school didn't have the uniforms for the boys, so we rocked the basketball singlets as good as we could. Going to the UBC tournament and seeing real volleyball players with real uniforms was very enlightening. Although I got a lot of playing time in high school, I realized pretty quickly that a long-term playing career was not in the cards. Apparently, having lousy hands, being short, and not being able to jump was not very conducive to being a good volleyball player, especially 30 years before the libero role was invented. My mom bought me a button back in the day. It appropriately said, if you can't play it, ref it. If you can't ref it, coach it. Gary Yitt was my grade 10 business teacher, and he got me involved into reffing by finding me in the hallway, and in only the way Gary could, he said, Wheatley, you should be a referee. You need to go to this clinic. I, in the only way I could, replied, yes, sir. I was successful right away and absolutely loved it. I realized pretty quickly that I had a good personality for refereeing and knew this was my way to stay involved in the sport for years to come. Windermere was also the start of my coaching career, as my brother and I began coaching basketball together in grade 12. I started coaching volleyball with Rick Houghton. I stayed at Windermere for 6 years, which was the start of developing many lifelong friendships in the sport. The highlights of this period of time was traveling to Prince George as a referee in the wheelchair volleyball event at the BC Games, which we saw a picture of earlier. Also coaching the BC Summer Games team with Rick, which we also saw a picture of in those lovely pink shorts. The UBC Senior Boys Tournament as a coach, as well as winning multiple city championships and Lower Mainland championships. I also achieved my level 2 and 3 referee certification by 1984. The level 3 clinic is where my referee family started growing. I met my longtime friends, Howard Hum and Jeff Gogol, at that clinic. We quickly became the 3 Musketeers. We all moved through the ranks, were Lower Mainland referee chairs, and took our turns at being the regional officials chair, running the referees for the entire province. We had worked many matches together over the years, had many meals together, and I was thrilled to see them both go into the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. We remain friends today, and I am thankful for all their guidance and friendship over the years. The next stage of my career was at Britannia Secondary, where I also worked as a Zamboni driver for 33 years. My Britannia family is very large, and I'm very grateful for the years I worked and coached there. We had a 10-year dynasty with so many memories, including 5 straight city championships. Linda Catherwood, Brenda Burrows, Kim Orr, and Mike Evans were all large parts of the positive memories that were established during these times. And I will always be thankful for their commitments to the school and to the athletic programs at Britannia. I also had the opportunity to start the Vancouver Volleyball Club with Pat Henley during that time. Pat is now the men's volleyball coach at Thompson Rivers University, and I am very proud of his achievements. This was the first local club for boys and remains around today as a girls' club under another longtime friend, Wayne Wong. During the time, I also got the opportunity to coach the men's program at BCIT, also thanks to Gary Yip, who was coaching the women's volleyball program at the time. The 7 years I coached at BCIT was the only time in my career that I backed right away from refereeing, as coaching high school and college at the same time was way too much. I really enjoyed coaching at that level, and although there weren't a lot of successes, I met a lot of great coaches and players that I'm still friends with today. I also think the experiences coaching at that level made me a better referee for the next stage of my career. After BCIT, it was time to start my new career as a husband and father. I decided the time it takes to coach would no longer be possible, so I stopped coaching and started refereeing again. I got back into refereeing very quickly, taking over the first year as a Lower Mainland officials chair and getting into the level 4 program within the first couple of years. I received my level 4 certification in 2002 and had the opportunity to be the regional officials chair for 7 years. As the ROC, I had the great opportunity to meet senior referees from all over Canada and expand my knowledge about how the Volleyball Canada referee system works. I also expanded my volleyball friendship group all across Canada. The highlights of this period were getting recognized as a Regional Official of the Year in 2001, the National Official of the Year in 2004, and as you saw from the pictures earlier, receiving the Sport BC President's Award in 2005. During this time, I learned a lot about leadership and decision-making. I am very proud of the high performance program that we established as BC continues to have the best depth of level 3 to 5 referees in the country, and we are sending successful candidates to the level 4 program yearly. I was also fortunate to travel to Regina to referee in the Canada Summer Games in 2005 and also the CCAA Nationals in 2009. Both of those were great experiences, but I am now well aware of why my mother left Regina, as that's where she was born. I had always said that I would get back into coaching when my kids were old enough to play, and I was very lucky that both of my girls were keen to play. I started coaching Taylor at BCO when she was 13U, and we stayed there for 1 year before moving closer to home and starting up with Apex Volleyball Club. At the same time, I was coaching at Van Tech High School, where Taylor went, followed in a few years by Sydney. My Tech Apex journey was and continues to be a blast, and the people I met there were so supportive. We had a great run developing both groups. Unfortunately, the second was derailed by COVID. It was one of my best experiences watching Taylor's team finish 5th at provincials in grade 12, knowing how the team started in grade 8. Although I wasn't coaching them at the time, to see the parental support and the team get along so well made me very proud. I know Sydney's team would have done well at provincials as well if COVID didn't interrupt. Missing out on the final season after going to provincials in grade 9, 10, and 11 was probably one of my biggest volleyball disappointments. My Apex family continues to be an important part of my life as I hang around as a technical director on the girls' side and the old man of the golf group. The people involved in Apex have the same philosophy about running the club as I do and love to give back to the community. It makes it really easy to want to be part of such a fantastic group of people. And I want to thank Ken Lee, Chan Wong, and Aaron Locke, and all my Apex family for your support over the years. The best part is most of them are also referees. The other big volleyball moment during that time was when I got to be an extra in the movie The Miracle Season, and many other local volleyball people were also involved. I was approached to help them find referees for the movie and was having trouble filling some of the spots. Since they were filming at Britannia, I said I would help out and went, what the hell, and went. What a great experience. Where else can you make 40 bucks an hour, get fed good food on the set, and do very little work? I got a chance to see how a movie was made, which is an experience I will never forget. Going to the opening and seeing the close-up on big screen of my face will be something I will also never forget. Also hearing Brenda Chin yell in the background, "I know that guy." Seeing all the other local volleyball people in the finished product was also very cool. I was very reluctant to do it at first, but turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life, and I am so thankful I did it. During the past few years, I have had the great opportunity and fortune of working as a referee delegate of a couple of FIVB and NORCECA events held in Langley and Vancouver. To be able to hang out with international referees from many different countries and work with referee delegates from around the world was truly an amazing experience. I learned so much about what it takes to be an international referee and the work that goes on behind the scenes of a major international event. I hope to do more of these events in the future. The last chapter of my volleyball journey occurred 4 years ago, when I was hired by Chris Densmore as a part-time referee development manager. At the time, I was still working full-time at Britannia and had 2 years to go before retirement. Chris was very convincing as to the benefits of having a retirement job and the benefits of having me on staff. I accepted the position and was happy to be part of the Volleyball BC family. Less than a year later, I found out my 33-year job at Britannia was coming to an end, and I needed to decide what I should do. Chris stepped up and said, "I don't know what the job will look like, but if it will help you, we would love to have you work for us full time." I had to think about it for about 5 minutes before I started to work on my resignation letter and on pension plans. I was officially retired and old. But now, for the first time ever, was going to truly love my job. I was now a full-time volleyball person. For the last 4 years, I have been immersed in volleyball. Working with a group of people that truly inspire me every day has been exhilarating. All the referees I have met, new and old, have made the last 4 years really enjoyable. Even through COVID, we now have the task of rebuilding our referee base after COVID, and this will likely be our biggest challenge. I look forward to this challenge and can't think of a group of people that I would rather do it with. Our Volleyball BC staff are a great group of people, and I thank each and every one of you for accepting this old man into your team. Not laughing too much at my lack of technical ability, and most of all, laughing at my dad jokes. Lastly, I want to thank volleyball for a wonderful 42 years. I have truly appreciated every single minute. Now it's time to master pickleball. Thank you all.
Thank you, Glenn. I really don't even know what I can say to top that. Like, I think that the journey that you just took us through the years and the 42 years that you've been involved in our sport was just incredible to hear about. And the number of people that you referenced and the different roles that you played, I think just demonstrates exactly why you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I also enjoyed listening to Glenn's podcast, and I would encourage any of you who haven't done so to go onto our website and do that. I really enjoyed listening about your work in the community and for our community. And I just know that you've had a huge impact on all of those people that you brought volleyball to. So as I say, if you haven't had a chance to do so, I would strongly encourage that you go online and listen to Glenn telling us all about his journey in volleyball. So thank you, Glenn, for your hard work and your contributions to referee development and to the entire sport of volleyball. I am so proud to be able to call you a colleague and a friend. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. And congratulations on your induction into the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. Before we close off the program for tonight, I wanted to bring everyone's attention to the Volleyball BC Sport Development Fund. Instead of charging admission to these virtual induction ceremonies, we invite you to consider donating to this fund, which supports program development for officials and coaches and athletes across the province. Last year, through these ceremonies, we raised about $2,000 towards initiatives that will help introduce volleyball to new communities. So if you can contribute, we would love you to be able to go onto our website and make a donation. I would also like to let you know that next week on Wednesday, March the 16th at 7 p.m., we will be inducting Rod Belinsky into the Volleyball BC Hall of Fame in the Builder category. We invite you all to come back on the same day at the same time and learn more about Rod's contributions to our community. You can sign up to attend on the Volleyball BC homepage. Thank you again to everyone who attended tonight. And once again, a huge congratulations to Glenn Wheatley, our first inductee into the 2022 Volleyball BC Hall of Fame. Enjoy the rest of your night.